He was a hard guy to bring down. So just one of those games, you go back and watch it, and just like we were a step off for whatever reason. I know it's an emotional game, a rivalry game, and all the things involved. But the bottom line is we didn't execute well enough, and their guys made plays, and we didn't. You know what I mean? I thought we had chances to, get some turnovers. We had the ball hit us a couple times and didn't come up with them, and got the ball on the ground a couple times and didn't come up with it. And they did a good job of changing up tempo, going with check with me, and then all of a sudden fast. And so that rhythm is hard to emulate in practice. Again, hats off to Kendall and those guys for executing at a high level, competing at a high level. We got to make more plays. And I got to be better preparing them for those situations.
Dave Matter.
Hey, Ryan, how different is Georgia this time around now that JT Daniels is more entrenched as a quarterback compared to when you were preparing for him about a month ago?
It's a lot different. You can tell why he was highly recruited and why he had the start to his campaign, his college campaign that he did. Throws a great ball. You can tell he's played a lot of football. He reads coverages, and for only having played in 2 games, he doesn't really make a whole lot of mistakes, or has not made a whole lot of mistakes. Seems like the receiving core is reinvigorated and re-energized. They got young guys that are really talented outside, and he does a great job getting them the ball. So it's a lot different, very more balanced. Still very physical up front. Got big, powerful backs. Got big, athletic, physical tight ends. And like I said, very talented, young but very talented on the outside. And now they got a trigger man that the future bodes bright for their offense for sure.
Go ahead, Mitch.
Ryan, Eli told us yesterday that Jarvis Ware probably isn't going to play this week, so that would seem to mean probably 2 true freshmen starting at cornerback. What's your confidence level in those 2 guys, and what have they shown you this season to obviously continue to get to play that much?
Well, you look in the secondary; those 2 guys have played really good football. It's always nice when you don't notice that they're freshmen. You know what I mean? When you're going back and grading the tape. This won't be JC's first start, and so I think he'll be just fine. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, and he just benched 300 pounds twice the other day as a true freshman corner. So I got full confidence in him. Obviously, Ennis is Ennis. They're young guys, but they're going to be playing against young guys too, and they're excited to go play.
Jack Sobel.
Yeah, just kind of building on Mitch's question. And Ennis has been the starter from the get-go, but JC kind of had to work his way up a bit. What have you seen from him that's kind of allowed him to work his way up the depth chart to the point where he's probably going to get the start?
Well, he's gotten better every week just from a fundamental standpoint. You got to understand, the kid played receiver in high school. This is his first time playing on the defensive side of the ball. So going through the recruiting process, you saw a long, athletic, physical receiver that wasn't getting the type of attention from a recruiting standpoint that we thought was deserved. And we didn't have spots at receiver at the time that we were recruiting him. But going down and seeing him live and kind of seeing the aggressive nature he has, I didn't think he was scared of contact or anything like that. So I was like, shoot, we'll take him at safety. And then you watch him move around, and I thought he had the skill set to play corner. So when he got here, we started him there, and he has gotten better just from learning the technique of how to play the position. Coach Gibbs has done a great job. I mean, he's a professional DB coach, and so you get that tutelage and being able to mold the guy who doesn't have bad habits and really kind of create your and give him your influence as a coach. It's definitely paid off for JC, and we've kind of seen the fruits of his labor and the fruits of him paying attention to detail and getting to have a start here in the big time SEC game.
Go ahead, Colin.
Hey, Coach Walters. Coach Drinkwitz mentioned the sprint draw specifically in the post game of Saturday, and then you mentioned the pace a little bit that Arkansas played with. Just,
Yeah.
I don't know that it'll be the same issues with Georgia this week, but just how confident are you that the issues that Arkansas stressed you guys with are fixable from a coaching or a scheme standpoint or execution?
Yeah. So it's interesting because the sprint draw, the first time it hit, Nick was in there to a certain call, and just he got caught not staying backside, and so you get it corrected on the sideline. He gets out of the game, and then it's the same call, but it's a different guy in there, and so the same problems happen. So you correct it when you watch the tape. We had a very candid meeting on Sunday as a unit, and then they've had a really good week of practice, and you can't. I'm glad we got to correct those mistakes after a win. But you can't freak out and abandon what's made you successful, and you can't panic over one outing. So our guys understand that. We got to be better prepared. I got to do a better job of preparing them, like I said, and so we're making sure we're doing the right things to go compete at a high level on Saturday.
Eric Blum.
Hey, Ryan. Coach Drinkwitz has pretty much been publicly campaigning for, notably Mike Maietti, but other players as well to come back next year. But I know it's a weird deal with in your last year of eligibility trying to retain guys. Is there anybody you'd like to publicly campaign to try and come back that's in their final year of eligibility?
I mean, that's their decisions. Obviously, I'd love to have them all back. We got a great group of guys. But I'm going to support them whatever they choose to do. And so I'm not going to push them or re-recruit them, so to speak. It's I'm happy to have all of them back, but if they choose to move on and either try to pursue their dreams of playing at the next level or enter the workforce and become real adults, that's their decision. I support them wholeheartedly, and I wish them nothing but the best. But absolutely, if they decided to come back, we'd welcome them with open arms.
Max Baker.
Yeah, Coach. With Adam Sparks being gone and Jarvis being out for the game, have you guys looked into I know you cross-trained wide receivers at the DB position, but has that been sort of a thing you've looked at for this week specifically? If injuries and whatnot, because there's only 3 on the depth chart I think that are available to play. Yeah, no, we've definitely Chris Abrams-Drain has came over and done some work for us this week. We've got some other players that will be ready in case of emergency. That's just a testament to our team, man. This is a really good locker room, and the morale and the character of the guys on this team is really high. And sorry, something's popping up on the screen here. All right. The morale and characteristics on this team are really high, and it's all about the team, and everybody's willing to do whatever it takes to help the team be successful. And, so those guys that are cross-training are just examples of that.
Colin?
Yeah, Coach, I think it was Dave here on the call asked a good question of Kirby Smart today of just about defense, and he said that it's interesting playing your defense because so many of the defenses the SEC come from that Saban tree, but yours doesn't. And there's not really crossover that you can use in preparing for those other defenses that you can use against yours. And I was just curious if you think there's any value to that.
I do. Like you said, this can be a copycat league sometimes. And so, it's different. It's a, change of pace a little bit. It's a little bit different style of what we're reading, different style of coverage at times. And then third downs are different, and so I think it's harder to prepare because you don't know the rules. If you're all from the same tree, you kind of know what the rules are to certain formations and certain post-snap adjustments. So, I think that has helped us. I got to keep, we as a defensive staff have to keep, not reinventing the wheel, but keep adding and keep tweaking, so that it stays new. I think we, from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, it's all going to just keep evolving. But I think you have to, as a coach, to keep up with the times. Offenses are ever evolving. the game is ever evolving, players are ever evolving, and so I think that the same holds true for defenses. You know, we got to continue to evolve to keep up with the type of explosive offenses you're seeing, you know, around the country, but now especially in this conference. You know, the rest of the football and world in college has definitely caught up to and infiltrated the SEC, and that's why you're seeing the amount of explosive offenses you see in this conference.
Go ahead, Suichi.
Ryan, what was life without Nick Bolton like for a half? I think some players said you guys will, probably next year going forward, you'll need to learn it anyway. So,
What's that? I'm sorry, I missed the first part of your question.
oh, I was just asking what life without Nick Bolton was like for at least a half.
I mean, shoot, we weren't playing that well when he was in there either that first half. I think, he was out the end of the second quarter. And we gave up 21 points in that second quarter. So life was the same that game. Now, what that means for, other games and moving forward, obviously you can't replace a Nick Bolton. It's not every day that you get a player of his caliber and, his emotional and intelligent and football intelligence that he has. So, but yeah, that Saturday it didn't have that much difference.
Dave?
Ryan, when you get to a week like this and Georgia is the opponent, do you look at it like as a measuring stick game for the program? They're kind of a standard bearer in this division, or do you not put that much emphasis, heaviness on the matchup?
Yeah, I don't think you can put that kind of emphasis on it. You know what I mean? I think you just take 1 week as its own individual season, and so when you mess up or you have successes, you just learn from them and then flush it, and it's on to the next one, because every game is its own entity and it has its own lifespan. So I think if you start putting too much into it, you can start putting added unneeded pressure on yourself, and sometimes that can get in the way of your performance and your focus. So. And that's easily, it's easily, it can weigh on you a lot easier as a college student, you know what I mean, when you add that pressure. So.
All right, two more. Andrew Kaufman, go ahead.
Hey, Ryan, it seemed like Martez kind of quietly had a career-high 12 tackles on Saturday. How did you see him progress, especially when Nick Bolton went out in the second half? Do you think how important do you think he was to you guys' defense?
Obviously Martez is an emotional leader out there. Even though he's a younger guy, you feel his presence. And he made plays. There were plays that came to him that he had to make, and then he also made a lot of plays. In that end of the third, early fourth quarter when we needed stops, he was there and definitely helped us. So there's obviously things on tape that he can learn from and do better. We all can. But he definitely provided a spark when we needed a spark to get a stop and try to go tie and then take the lead.
All right, Peter, close Ryan out here.
Yeah, Ryan, I know you might not know him super well because he doesn't work with your group, but just watching from afar on Saturday and throughout the year, what do you see with Harrison Mevis's just composure out there when making kicks? He's like ice in his veins, man. He doesn't care at the moment. Don't care. Pre-practice we go through PAT and right after flex, and coaches are always screaming at him, and he just don't care. He just kicking field goals. And so I think that attitude is what is special about him. That and he's talented. Obviously, he's got a big leg and he's accurate. I'm definitely glad he's on our team.
All right, we'll let Ryan go with that one. Thanks, Coach.
Yep.